She was the world's youngest self-made female billionaire who was never at a loss for words. But as you'll see, in this nearly 4-hour deposition obtained by CNBC, it was a much different Elizabeth Holmes who hardly said anything.
Yes.
The date, June 27th, 2018. Just 12 days after Holmes, the founder and CEO of Theranos, and company president Sunny Balwani were indicted on charges of fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Both have pleaded not guilty.
No.
Listen as Holmes repeatedly takes the fifth on advice of counsel while being deposed by an attorney representing late-stage Theranos investors who sued her, the company, and Balwani.
Are you going to follow his instruction not to answer?
Yes, I'm going to follow my counsel's instruction. I'm going to follow my counsel's instructions. I'm following his instruction.
Same instruction.
Same response.
Holmes won't even acknowledge that it's her when shown an appearance on CNBC's Mad Money.
Do you recognize you on that video?
Same instruction.
That investor lawsuit ended with a confidential settlement. If Holmes does take the stand in her own defense, she won't be allowed to take the fifth, and she'll likely face a barrage of questions from prosecutors about what she told investors and patients. Questions she answered in detail in this SEC deposition from 2017.
Did you ever tell investors or potential investors in 2013 or 2014 that Theranos had developed proprietary devices that could conduct all of the blood tests that a central lab could conduct using a few drops of blood, and that those devices were ready for patient testing?
I don't know that we said it in those words, but generally that was what we were working to do with Minilab going into the FDA in that time frame.
Holmes' defense has signaled it's Balwani, her ex-boyfriend, who's to blame, which he strongly denies. But in 2017, Holmes is seen acknowledging that at the end of the day, she was the one in charge.
Okay, but were you the decision maker on behalf of Theranos, and did you sign the Walgreens contract or the amendment?
I did. I signed many of the Walgreens agreements. I don't know if I signed all of them. And yes, I mean, I'm the CEO. I'm the ultimate decision maker for the company.
Attorneys for Holmes did not respond to CNBC's request for comment on these tapes or whether she'll take the stand. We all know the expression silence is golden, but it could be the opposite depending on who you're talking to in this case. Elizabeth Holmes has not spoken in court yet. She wears a mask. That could play in her favor with the jury. They have not been able to see any sort of emotion from her, so they might see her as a sympathetic character that's just sitting there. Now, legal experts tell me that it's very risky to put Elizabeth Holmes on the stand, but her lawyers might do it if they feel like they're losing the case. Now, Julia, that would open her up to the government using her own words against her.